And orange is the light of the sun that has been transformed through this amazing biochemical process that, as far as we know, is on one planet in the entire universe. It is our planet. And I'm Dr. Tiffany Vora. I'm the Vice President for Innovation Partnerships at Explore Mars. Before I went on the road to come here, I decided to make a nice meal for my family. So I made a lovely ossobuco with Israeli saffron couscous, which came out really nicely, and then we had some kale and some Brussels sprouts with that.
Very cool. How'd you get access to that recipe? Did you just look something up, or you're just curious?
So I have an Instant Pot. And so
love them, yes.
Love the Instant Pot and the internet. So I put those two things together.
The internet's really cool sometimes.
That's right. And for food recipes, I think it works. Makeup tutorials.
That should be about it, though. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. We could call it there. But that's where I got the recipe for that. And I'm the kind of cook who uses what she has, doesn't go out and shops for things in particular. So it was a bit of a remix of a few things. The saffron came home with me from India on my last trip.
Very cool.
So I was delighted to use that.
Where in India?
That time I was in Mumbai.
Ah, very cool. Very cool. Did you enjoy the food there?
I mean, I ate everything.
Of course. Speaking
cheese.
Fair enough. Any kind?
All of the kinds.
All the kinds of cheese. It's like saying I want more wishes. You gotta pick one type of cheese.
Oh, I guess if I could only pick one, my absolute favorite cheese in the whole world is a cheese called Red Hawk that comes from Cowgirl Creamery, which is a Marin County, California cheese.
Wow, that is very specific. Have you been to Cowgirl Creamery?
Of course I have.
Of course you have. Of course you have. Amazing.
I will give you two of them that I just cannot handle. Grilled lettuce. What is that?
I haven't heard of it, and I already despise it.
Oh, I can't. It's a fancy restaurant thing. And then a few years ago, the other fancy restaurant thing was putting lavender flavor on everything.
Yes, I remember that.
And I went to Alinea in Chicago, and they gave me fish that had lavender on it. And I was like, I feel like I had swallowed soap. And now I'm trying to eat this infinitely expensive meal, and I was, nope, pass.
Look, we've got to experiment as a people, but there's got to be a better way than people just taking on every single restaurant, taking on the same trip at the same time.
For sure, for sure. However, I am like that the truffle craze.
Oh yeah.
I can eat truffles all day, every day.
Yeah. But it is truffle. A lot of it's truffle flavoring, right?
Which is not cool.
Which is not truffles, right? That's a whole other. That's a whole other issue. We could be on for a while talking about that.
Well, my family is the number one, of course.
Clearly, yeah.
We have dinner together just about every night, and I try to cook dinner from scratch every night. That is more of an intention rather than an actual execution that happens.
I love that.
But that's the intention every night, and usually I handle weeknights. My husband cooks on the weekends. And we go back and forth, but we really love food. We love trying things out. Occasionally there's a big disaster in the kitchen, and then fortunately there's a taqueria down the street, and my son is besties with the taqueria people. But that's really the time that we set aside to come together every day, because the rest of the day is crazy. But if we're actually going to look each other in the eyes, if we're not going to be looking at a screen, talk about our days, talk about what we're thinking about, the books we're reading, whatever it is, meals are really where that happens for us.
Fair enough. So what you're telling me is that the solution for food and food wellness on Mars is to have a second ship that's a taqueria that you can quickly float over to if needed.
Absolutely. Okay. Again, California girl, so 100%.
Fair enough.
I think the most important lesson I've learned is that food is not about calories. It's about nourishing more than just your cells and your organs and your body. It's about nourishing your relationships. And it took me a while to come to the realization that food is also an art form. It's just art that you eat and you smell and you hold in your mouth and you feel. And so I don't always consider myself to be a particularly artistic person, but I think food is one of my artistic media. And like I said, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but the joy is in the process.
Yeah. Was your background more on the technical side? Is like as far as your current work, your current job?
Sure. I'm a molecular biologist by training. I live in Silicon Valley. I work in the tech ecosystem. I'm fascinated by tech and everything that it touches. And so food is a great confluence of that, because not only do you have all the potential to bring in AI and robotics and biotech and genetic engineering and all of these things, but at the end of the day, food is something you put in your body. And it's something you put in your family's bodies. So we have feelings about food in the way that we don't have feelings about things like self-driving cars. And I find that intimate relationship very, very interesting.
Very cool. There's there's feelings behind it. There's art behind it. I love that art outlook. I always tell people every good scientist I know also is an artist. Like that's something that, I mean, you go to NASA, like you have people who are musicians, you have people doing some form of art, and cooking is one of them for me as well. I love experimenting with new dishes in that way.
So for me, my cooking really went up a level when I was in college and did my organic chemistry lab. And after that, somehow something clicked. And being able to both speak science and speak kitchen in my brain, it's the same language. We're just putting different words on it. Absolutely. So now my son is 13. He started getting interested in cooking, and he's also doing a chemistry unit at school. So there's a lot of crosstalk in the kitchen while we're working on our protocols / recipes. It's fun.
That's amazing.
That is a really interesting question. I learned a lot about how not to eat in various contexts, including school and work and things like that.
True, yeah.
I'm an American. I think we don't actually have a lot of really great eating habits in a lot of ways.
Fair enough.
And so I would say probably it was when I left the United States and I lived in Egypt for a time that I...
Where in Egypt?
In Cairo.
Oh, in Cairo. Very cool.
This was before the revolution, so a while ago now. But I never really understood what seasonal eating was until I lived in Egypt, because in Egypt, the vast majority of your food is trucked up from the Nile Delta every day, right? Trucked down, I suppose. And so this idea that like, oh, it's in season, that was just what eating was there. Right. So we had 3 weeks.
It's not a marketing term.
No, it's not a marketing term. We had 3 weeks we had oranges, and all you did was eat oranges, and then they were gone for a year, and there were no more oranges. And that really drove home to me. I would go to buy eggs and there would still be feathers stuck on them. I mean, that's not what it's like.
No,
right?
It's not.
In the US. So I realized there was another way to eat, another way to source your food, and another way to enjoy it and to share it. And I think I managed to bring a lot of that home to me when I came back to the US.
Amazing.
I would want people to think about the miracle that is an orange. An orange is the light of the sun that has been transformed through this amazing biochemical process that, as far as we know, is on one planet in the entire universe. It is our planet. And not only does that magic happen, but then you get to smell it and you get to taste it and you can divide it with your hands.
It's delicious.
And what I want people to remember 100, 300 years in the future is that for us, food and earth and biology and the land, we're all one thing. And we're working hard to decouple those things for very, very good reasons. But I think if we ever forget that, we'll really have forgotten where we came from.
Really, really appreciate that. Really love that answer. Well, thank you so much. You have been absolutely wonderful. This is Tiffany. She's been killing it at Humans2Mars today. I've loved hearing every one of her speeches and or talks on panels. So thank you very much for spending a little bit of time with us here at Heritage Based Food. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Take care.